Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review. So this is a bit late because I already watched this movie last week. Today is Monday, the 27th, the day I'm doing this, but yeah, whatever. So Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. So I was not really planning to watch this movie because I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. I have never played it, nor have I ever seen or heard anybody around me playing this game before. I've heard of the name before, but I just don't know what it was about. So normally I don't watch game-based movies or TV shows that I've never played before or that I don't know much about because I won't be able to compare it with the original to see whether they did it justice or they butchered it. I won't be able to do that, so normally I would just choose not to watch it. But then I heard that this game don't really have existing characters, like the players create their own characters. So I thought I could give it a go. Plus I'm into like stuff like medieval era dragons and shit. So I guess I could give it a go. So, firstly, I want to say I feel like the name Dungeons and Dragons, this movie didn't really live up to it because like, I know it's based on a game, but then this movie, it had a few dungeons, I guess, but dragons, not so much. Like, there was only two dragons. One of it appeared in like flashback, but literally like for 2 seconds. And then another dragon, there was this like chunky dragon, bro, was so fat. You can't even walk properly. We're just like rolling around. So yeah, that dragon was there for like a few minutes, so that was the only two dragons in the movie. But yeah, even the name Honor Among Thieves, I was like, after watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, the title kind of like didn't really fit with the movie at all. But yeah, so whatever. So after watching the movie, I thought like, hey, this is actually a pretty good movie, and I was like, man, I can't believe I was not gonna watch this movie. So I'm glad I watched it because it was actually a pretty good movie. There was some stuff that I thought was like, like it could have just gone another way because it was just like unnecessary to do it this way. Like, I'll tell you the intro, like Chris Pine's character and Michelle Rodriguez's character, Ed and Holga, they were in prison and they were literally about to be given pardon and released from prison, but then they escaped literally like 2 seconds later. Like you literally could have waited a few seconds for them to tell you, hey, you got a pardon, because that's what they was waiting for, and then they just escaped. I'm like, and later on there were like, what do you call that? Like the thing, the wanted posters or what? Yeah, posters with their face on it that they escaped prison. You could have literally waited 2 seconds for you to give it a pardon and be released, but you chose to break out of prison. And then the people who was giving them the pardon was like, hey, we just gave you a pardon, like. It just didn't make sense that part. So, but yeah, for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Plot wise, it was pretty good. It looked like a simple plot at first, but they kind of add layers on, as it went on. So I like that. So all the magic stuff and everything. I thought it was perfect. The music was really good. I thought the music was pretty good. Uh, yeah. So actually, it was a pretty good movie. So now we go to the characters. I noticed one thing in this movie is that the female characters did not have any character development at all, while the male ones did. And also some male characters, I don't know why they did them that way, but I just don't know. But yeah, I'll get to it. So Chris Pine's character, he was called Edgin or something. So he is a bard. I remember they called him a bard. So, but he did not do any fighting at all, and he was part of a group called the Harpers. That was like before he became a thief. So, and then he did not do any fighting at all. Not that I remember of. Like, I don't think he did any kind of fighting at all. He was just there, like just running away. And they kind of portrayed him like a dumb character at some points too, because he was literally trying to cut the ropes that he was bound with the stairs. I'm like, what? And then he was like, oh, there's probably sharper stairs somewhere. While Michelle Rodriguez's character was fighting off everybody, bro was still trying to cut the ropes with the stairs. I'm like, what? So he did not do any fighting at all. I'm not sure if that's how the character is supposed to be, the bard character. And he had this small like guitar thing. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. So it looked like a small like guitar like this size, and then he was just playing that and singing a few times. That's it. So that was his character. But he did have character development. There was a reason why he was doing what he's doing, and then at the end he kind of changed his mind and he did something else. So I guess that you could consider that as a character development. And his character was literally like a comedy character of the movie. Some worked, some didn't. The comedy, but yeah, overall, I thought the comedy was pretty good too. Yeah, but just some of it I was like, nah. And this dude, Justice Smith, I know him from a few stuff. He was in Jurassic World. He was in Detective Pikachu. So he was playing a sorcerer. So his character development was probably the best throughout the movie. I heard cheers though. I heard cheers for his character like towards the end and everything. So like he was a sorcerer who was like pretty bad, and he had literally no confidence to do anything. He was like, no, this is gonna fail. This is not gonna work. Oh no, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like he literally had no confidence to do anything. Even though Ed, Chris Pine's character, would be motivating him constantly, like you can do it. Now he was like, no, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. This is gonna fail. Like, but then he, like later on you see his development, like it was amazing. And then after he became like he overcame what he needed to overcome to become a good sorcerer, like his scenes after that were just so good. So his character development was the highlight for me. So and then there was this another character called Zank. I don't know who the actor is. It was this black actor. I don't know who. I've never seen him in anything before. So he was only for a while. I think he was called a paladin, but he was so powerful. But I have no idea why they didn't like keep him for like the entire movie. He was only there for one scene to help the group find something. After that, it was like, no, you know what? This is your journey, so you got to go do it yourself. And then he appeared like at the last scene to catch one of the dudes. So he was really powerful. He fought off like a group of undead people all by himself, while the others just watched. Like, he was so strong. And then he was a part of a people called the Thayans, and then everyone, they're kind of turned into undead, but then he escaped. And then he became good, and then Chris Pine's character don't do well with Thayans because of something they did that affected him, so he didn't really like him at first, but then he saved his life, and then they kind of became, cool after that. So yeah, so I guess you could say he also kind of had a character development. So now we go to the female characters. Michelle Rodriguez's character was a barbarian. She was just there to fight. That's all. Like she was just there to fight from start to end. And then there's another actress. I forgot her name. She was in It. She played Beverly. So her power, she could be like she could turn into different animals like pretty quickly, and she had the slingshot in her forearm. That's what she could do. And yeah, that's yeah, that was it. He was there, just there to turn into other animals to spy on things or fit into places like the others can't. So that was her role in this movie. So both of them literally had no character development at all from start to end. They were pretty badass. Like I don't think nothing developed, like their characters didn't really develop at all. Like like they were just pretty, that was the whole role. They were just pretty strong and powerful from start to end. That's it. But the guy characters had like improvements, so they didn't. Um, and then yeah, talking about how they did some male characters dirty was that there was one place they went to. So it was Holger, Michelle Rodriguez's character's husband, ex husband. This guy was like really soft, and then in that place, all the women were the fighters and the men were the housewives, and he was so soft, like it just didn't make sense, like historically, if you think about it. If you look at that time period, I don't think at that time period there were ever like women who were fighting and men who were housewives. And then there were also women who were castle guards too. Like I'm not saying I'm against this, but I'm just saying like at that time period, I'm pretty sure this didn't happen, where men were housewives and women were the fighters. So I just didn't know why they did that. And they also kind of made men like kind of stupid. Like there was this dude where he was like uh, he was already dead, but then they kind of raised the dead people to ask them questions, and he said he literally died by slipping after he came out of the bathtub. Like they literally made men so stupid in this movie, like a lot of them. So I don't know why they did that. And there was also another character part of the group, but then he kind of turned on them. His name was I forgot his name. He was played by Hugh Grant. So he kind of had different plans. And then like he was with the group, but then he had different plans. He aligned himself with this witch character. It was a red wizard or something. So she had her plans of her own. So they kind of worked together, and they planned for Ed and Holger to get caught at the start. So later on, you would actually know more about the story, but I don't want to say too much. So his character, like he was a pretty stupid character too, and he was supposed to be like a villain in a way, but he didn't feel like a villain at all. Like I just like there was nothing villainous about him too, because he was like pretty stupid. Like you just cannot take this guy seriously at all, and he was supposed to be a villain, but he know what he was doing. But the thing is, you just cannot take him seriously at all. And it kind of looks like maybe the witch was planning the stuff, and he was just doing it. Like you just don't, you just cannot take this guy seriously at all. And then he, yeah, something happens to him. So yeah, and then there was a Red Wizard, which I thought her character was cool the way they did the character, but I feel like she got defeated pretty easily by the group. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, she wanted to like make everyone the undead. It was a part of a plan of a guy called Zastam or something. He was a Thayan red wizard, so he did it in the past where he turned a lot of people into undead. That's when the character Zenk escaped, so he kind of has something to do with that backstory as well. And this witch was also there, and then she want to kind of want to make everybody undead too. So that was the whole plan. She had this thing, like I don't know what it was, like I don't know what it was. So she wanted to use that to basically bring back everybody. Not bring back everybody, like make everybody like an army of undead. So yeah, yeah. What else? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's all of the characters. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm not sure if anything else. Yeah, I don't think so. So that's all the characters. So I thought the story was pretty good. Just didn't, didn't really like what they did with some of the male characters. Like why they had to make them so soft and stupid. Like that's what they did with some of the male characters. Uh, Although still I guess Chris Pine's character was likable as the comedy guy. I guess, but I don't know why they didn't really make him fight at all. At least Justice Smith character did some, like they had some development. His development is probably the best I thought. So yeah. So comedy wise, I thought it was pretty good too. The jokes and stuff, but at some point it felt unnecessary. But it was still funny, so I'm gonna give him that. So I'm not saying some of the stuff that I found problematic in this movie was big enough for this movie to be called bad. So that's it. So I'm just wondering why they did it. So they didn't do it like excessively to the point where it affects the plot itself. It was just there. So I just don't know why they had to make men so dumb and stupid and so soft. Like oh man, I can't even do that. Like shit. So yeah. Like, I have no problem with strong female characters. The thing that why the female characters had no character development at all. They were badass, strong from start to end, while the male ones had, character development. Some of them, were stupid and soft, and I don't know why they want to do that. And it's not even historically accurate for that in that time period for men to be housewives, women to be the fighters, to be the castle guards. I'm just saying, like it just don't make sense. So, all right, so that was Dungeons and Dragons. I think I covered everything not without like spoiling too much because I think I want y'all to I want you all to watch it and for yourself and discover the plot because I definitely would have liked not being spoiled some of the plot because the plot was actually pretty interesting the way they did it. So I thought it was a good movie. So I revealed a lot about the characters mainly because, like I said, I don't know how to compare them. So maybe you, as a Dungeons and Dragons player, would know whether what I said about the characters was true or not, or that's how the characters were supposed to be or was not supposed to be. I don't know. That's for you to decide, I guess. So that is all for my review for Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. So if you enjoyed this review, please give this video a like and comment down below what you thought. If you already watched it, if you're from a country that the movie's already been released, or if you have anything to say about what I just said about the characters, just comment down below. Let me know. Yeah, if they did it justice or they butchered it. But yeah, so anyway, that is all. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Take care. Goodbye.